Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana is known for his humorous wit, but this expert witness is so stupid it's hilarious. Kennedy doesn't need to make a joke. It starts out badly, as poor Gus doesn't even know who invited him to speak.
Welcome. You were, who invited you here today?
I came with Protect Our Winters.
Right. But you're here on behalf of the Democrats or the Republicans?
I'm here on behalf of the outdoor enthusiasts around America.
Okay. You were contacted by Senator Whitehouse's staff?
I personally came with Protect Our Winters, so I don't know how that went exactly.
This was 2024. Democratic Senator Whitehouse was chairing a meeting to discuss climate change, and it was in fact his office that invited Gus to address the Senate as an expert witness on climate change.
I personally came with Protect Our Winters, so I don't know how that went exactly.
What is carbon dioxide?
I went to high school, but that's carbon dioxide is a gas.
This is the face you make when you realize you're addressing the Senate of the United States of America and you don't know a damn thing. He doesn't know that he's exhaling carbon dioxide with every breath. He can't even say it's a greenhouse gas. But it gets worse.
Okay.
I'm not a professional to talk about carbon dioxide so much, but
Well, you want us to abolish it, right?
no, there's always going to be carbon dioxide.
Right. So what is it you want us to do? Let me back up, because I want to, you're here as an expert. Tell me more about what carbon dioxide is.
I'm here as an expert cross-country skier who sees the changes in my winters and the landscape that I live in Alaska. And so carbon dioxide is what I see it as is, it's a gas that exists in our atmosphere. And
What, is it the major part of our atmosphere? Or?
It's a huge part of our atmosphere, yes.
It's actually a very small part of our atmosphere.
Well, okay. But, yeah, I don't know. What are you asking specifically?
Well, okay, gasp. But, yeah, I don't know. Now, Kennedy could have humiliated Gus by telling him the actual number. If you played my climate quiz video, you know that CO2 comprises 0.04% of the atmosphere. Not a huge part of our atmosphere. And there's no excuse. Schumacher's a major spokesman and lobbyist for Protect Our Winters, which actually offers training courses on climate. And as for carbon hurting the landscape, there's no correlation between CO2 and forest fires, which are down 75% from the peak in the 1930s when CO2 was lower. NASA reports the extra CO2 in the atmosphere is actually greening the planet, so much they can see the difference from outer space. And Protect Our Winters proposes to replace fossil fuels with solar farms, which recover thousands of square miles of farmland and forests and destroy animal habitat.
Well, you said we need to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. I'd like to know first if you know what it is. You want us to abolish fossil fuels?
I never said that.
You never have said that?
No.
Okay. What do you think we ought to do with fossil fuels?
What will we do with fossil fuels?
Yeah. Should we make any changes?
I would like to see a decrease in the use of fossil fuels. I think there's a possibility to use more electric generation.
Okay. Over what period of time? 10 years, 50 years, 100 years?
That's not, I would like to see it come as fast as possible while continuing.
How fast?
Sorry?
How fast?
I don't have a good answer for that, no.
Okay. You just think, well, how much will it cost for us to become carbon neutral in the United States by 2050?
I'm not a professional on that. I don't have an answer.
You don't have any idea?
No.
You just think we ought to spend the money?
I'm not an economist.
Yeah, but it's going to cost money. You realize that?
Yeah, but we've also talked about the trade-off of what the cost of climate change as emergencies will cost in the future also. So.
Right, but it's going to cost trillions of dollars to become carbon neutral by 2050, right?
I do not know.
You don't know. You just think we ought to do it.
I don't have a great answer for you.
Another sad joke. Protector Winter's stated mission is to pass climate legislation, and the rep has no idea what measures should be done, in what time frame, how much they would cost, and if they would have any meaningful impact on climate. No knowledge, no plan, it's all unicorns.
I don't have a great answer for you, but I think I would.
If we spent those trillions of dollars and became carbon neutral by 2050 in the United States, which you advocate, how much will it reduce world temperatures?
I don't have an answer for that.
You don't know?
No.
You just think we ought to spend the money and then see what happens?
I think as an athlete, I think if we spend that money and invest in our future, hopefully those temperatures stop rising and maybe the snow at least stabilizes where it is for me. But yeah, I don't think anyone knows for sure. I don't know anyway.
Well, when my colleagues invite witnesses to come to us to tell us, advise us on passing legislation, I always check out the background of our witnesses because I like to know who I'm talking to. I checked yours out, Mr. Schumacher, and I want to be sure I understand it as I evaluate your testimony. On June 8th, 2020, you tweeted, I'm going to quote, "The war on drugs was intentionally created to incarcerate black people en masse," end quote. The war on drugs, you said, was intentionally created to incarcerate black people en masse. Who intentionally created the war on drugs to put black people in jail? Who were you talking about?
I don't remember typing that.
You don't?
No.
It's on your Twitter feed.
Maybe a retweet. I don't know. I haven't used that in a while.
Well,
Also,
even
it
if
doesn't
it's a
seem like
retweet, it shows your support, right?
Maybe, yeah. But it's not the topic of this conversation.
Right. But it has to do with you're here giving us advice, and I just kind of like to know a little bit more about your
Yeah,
point of view.
I'm here as an athlete giving you my story and what I've seen in my field.
On August 27th of 2020, you tweeted this, quote, I'm going to quote, "Police are paid with taxpayer dollars. If they are not answerable to us, we can demand new service, and that's what this is. Abolish the police in favor of that new service," end quote. You think we ought to abolish the police, do you?
Again, not the topic I'm here to talk about today.
I know.
And in this section, Gus refuses to defend his extremist positions. He should just say, "I stand by what I said," and then launch into his talking points about weather. But I don't think he actually has talking points. He just comes across as a naive young man who follows the current thing without really believing in it.
You think we ought to abolish the police, do you?
Again, not the topic I'm here to talk about today.
I know, but you tweeted it. Do you think we ought to abolish the police?
That's not what I'm here to talk about.
Should we do that before or after we get rid of fossil fuels?
I'm not going to address that. That's,
You don't want to address it? Okay. Let me ask you about one more of your tweets. On August 26, 2020, you tweeted, there's a picture. I'm not going to describe the picture, but you said, quote, your words, not mine. It's on your Twitter feed. Quote, "This is what systemic racism looks like. The Los Angeles Police Department is literally policing only the Black Lives Matter side," end quote. What'd you mean by that?
This is still off topic.
No, it's not. You're here as an expert telling us, advising us, and I'm asking you about your background.
I'm here as an athlete to talk about the effects of climate change on my sport.
Okay, let's go back. Well, I'm almost out of time.
If you think that was a dumpster fire, wait till you see the news coverage. An Alaska Olympian went to D.C. to testify on climate change. Then a senator dredged up old tweets. Yeah, as if Gus was actually doing well at first. And Kennedy pulled a pop quiz about climate science. Yeah, one question. The text begins with a big section that has nothing to do with the headline, talking about what other speakers said. Then it falsely credits Gus for talking about renewable energy and sustainable land management. He didn't. Click the hyperlink for the transcript. He never even said greenhouse, or even green once. This part is funny. Protector Winters prepared Gus for the meeting. He actually studied for this. They realized that Gus was asking for carbon reductions, while his own carbon footprint was massive, flying around the world for his sport. And they prepared Gus for Kennedy attacking him for hypocrisy. But when Kennedy didn't attack, reporter Nathaniel Herz called it a full-on broadside from John Kennedy, with ambush questions being, who invited you? What is carbon dioxide? And do you want to abolish it? And the 2.5 minutes talking about tweets becomes a deep excavation of his social media accounts. Nathaniel Herz tries to cover for Gus, saying he only flubbed one question. Really? Did he even answer a question? And letting Gus rhyme off excuses only makes him sound more pathetic. We were not briefed on the molecule of CO2, and I was not briefed on the exact numbers of stopping climate change. You weren't briefed on any number at all. You're at the Senate Budget Committee, and you don't even have a guess about what your idea will cost. And he's been doing this protect our winter shtick for 3 years. He's so stupid, he doesn't even know how stupid he is. The reporter tries to help Gus by demonizing Kennedy. Here's a standard ad hominem attack by global warming activists. Just smear your opponent as an evil oil company dupe to avoid debating the actual issues. But here, Kennedy isn't debating anything. Just ask Gus for his opinions and watch him self-destruct. And the ultimate irony is that the oil industry has been a longtime sponsor of Gus's own ski club team and Anchorage's cross-country ski association. Gus Schumacher isn't the only stupid climate activist. This guy who appeared in my video, Take the Climate Quiz, glued his face to the pavement. On YouTube, click the screen to check that out, or see my channel page. I don't get funding from the oil companies, so please subscribe and raise some hell in the comment section.